Okay, hello. Welcome
Hello.
to the live show for Glint. So excited to have you guys.
Few
I'm
men
here with
down.
Mel, and that's it.
There we go.
You guys know Mel. We love Mel, but Mel,
Hi.
what did
Hi.
you do? What did you rate the book? How do you feel about it? We're just
What did
gonna
I rate
start off
the
with
book? We'll start off by saying I read the book like 3 months ago, but
there.
I think I rated it a 3-star.
Okay.
Two and
Solid.
a half, 3-star. I think a 3.
Oh dang.
Yeah. I think it was
gave
a 3.
4 stars. So this should be
Okay,
interesting.
so good discussion. I like it.
I'm excited. But hello, everyone. Let us know what you rated it in the chat, and then we can kind of jump right into it. Hello,
Rachel, who's here
Cassidy.
for the vibes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad about it. Hi, Rachel. How are you? Hello. Had to pull myself away from Gleam to join.
Nice.
Ooh. I do remember.
Part of the reason for the lower 3-star, because you know how you read something and you like it, but you're just kind of on the fence about it, and then you talk to somebody about it, you're like, yes, that annoyed me. Yes, and then it just kind of
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll lower my rating after this.
I don't want you to lower your rating. I want you to love it.
I was really conflicted with what I wanted to rate it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the second half of the book is the reason I gave it 4 stars.
That's fair. She definitely has this thing where the first 60% is almost filler. Like there's some important stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's just very slow.
I agree. It's my fave series, and even though I read this book last year, I still stand by my 5 out of 5 star rating. Nice. Yes, always. Hello. 4 stars.
Maria for the vibes. We like it.
Aw, love it. Thank you for coming. 4.5. 4 stars for me. I loved all the banter. Yes. I don't do FanRo. Yeah, fair. I figured.
She does dragons with 2 eggplants.
But not
FanRo.
Not FanRo. I had to pull myself away from Glow to join. Nice. Yes.
I have not heard too much about Glow yet, so I'm interested to see those reviews come in.
Same.
I was counting on Ash. Do you know Ash the Book Sloth? So she's in oh goodness. She's in Becca's Discord, and it's like occasionally she'll be in sprints and stuff, and she loves this series, but she recently got on the Savage Lands binge, and I think she actually put Glow down to read Savage Lands because I was going to ask her how it was.
Dang. I need to read Savage Lands. That's definitely on my TBR.
It's quick.
Didn't read in time, but just hopping on to say hello. Hi, Meredith. Really want to like it, so I'm excited to continue still. Yes.
Me too.
It's 5 books. So
4 out next year?
I think so. I think it's coming out 2023. I'm thinking I can read in 30 minutes. Makes me laugh. That's fair. Okay, so the first little bit is just going to be spoiler-free, kind of like our general thoughts on the book. So, Mel, is there anything specific that, well, not specific, general. That's the whole point of the spoiler-free, but
sorry, excuse the cough. I'm getting everyone new. I agree with Cassidy. I think the pacing for both of the first and the second book was an issue for me. It was just a lot more noticeable in the second one. I did like the side characters a lot in the second book. The female general, I found her really cool. And I liked the addition of the Queen's POV. I felt like that fleshed it out a lot. But I found the big, shocking, dramatic reveals at the end to be very predictable. And so they just kind of aggravated me because I'm like, I thought we already established that. But now we're acting like it's this big reveal. So that's my 2 cents. My short, spoilery-free 2 cents.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with the pacing. I feel like I didn't really notice it as much in the first one. I think with this second one, because we're in a different setting, like, you know, we're past the initial like world building, introducing all the characters and everything. I feel like it's a lot more noticeable now because you're expecting a lot more to happen, and that just isn't what we got.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree. Yeah. But the second half of the book, I think to me was like exactly what I was looking for in the series. Like you start to see a little bit of the romance, you know, get little tiny
Need more romance.
definitely
It's a FanRo series with no smutty scenes.
definitely need a lot more romance, but you start to kind of see the foundations of it building. I feel like the mental health rep and just, you know, our main character kind of figuring herself out, I really, really enjoyed in this one. And I thought it was interesting that they added the Queen's POV. I was not expecting that.
I wasn't either.
But I liked it. I liked that we got another dimension to the story. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Those are our spoiler-free thoughts. So if you haven't read the book, now is a good time to adios. And I will put up a little banner at the bottom just in case someone pops through that. We're talking about spoilers now. Okay. So the banter felt so forced to me.
Depends on which characters you're talking about, because like the banter between her and the female general and the side characters didn't, but the banter between her and the main dude wasn't quite as convincing to me. And I think part of that is because it's so slow burn, but you don't see a lot of them together interacting, that it came on a little quick.
Yeah, I completely agree with this. I feel like the female relationships and interactions in this one were so much better than the first one. There was still some girl on girl hate when, you know, we find all of them kind of trapped in the same place that she is. And that like still bothered me a little bit. But again, like with the general and those kind of banter comments, like those are really, really well done, I think.
Yeah.
But I feel like it being a little forced with the love interest, like I think it also just goes to show her kind of mental state. Like she wasn't even in a state for that banter to not feel forced, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it really was representing how guarded and like caged her mind was to like, Midas is everything. Like I have to get back to this. And so she didn't really open herself up to anyone else. So I actually kind of like that it not felt forced, but it wasn't what I was expecting it to be.
I don't know. The mental health rep thing, though, I don't know. I completely see where people would think that it is good mental health rep and understand like the Stockholm syndrome thing. But to a point, we see her trying to assert herself so much, but then her inner monologue is so meek, and it just doesn't. It seems like it would almost be the other way around. And then at the very end, when she starts to kind of gain a backbone and do a lot of things, it kind of comes out of left field for me a little bit. I almost wish we had gotten her at the castle with Midas for a longer period of time before King Rock came in. And that way we could kind of see her realizing, oh, wait, there's a juxtaposition between freedom and what he's always required of me that wasn't 10 pages long. But again, that's a pacing thing, I think.
Yeah. Interesting. I feel like I almost have the opposite opinion on that, because I feel like the way things kind of didn't add up with how she was acting versus what she was thinking was almost like subconsciously she knew that Midas, like, this is not freedom, you know, like some part of her knew. And I think just that like one step that he took, that he's gonna make her go in the cage if she doesn't listen, was just like a snap, you know? So to me, it never felt like it came out of left field or that it went like it switched too quickly. I feel like it was slowly brought into her mind, and it just took that one moment for her to really snap out of it.
Maybe so. I can see that.
Yeah. That's interesting. I guess I'm in the minority. I actually did not notice any pacing issues, maybe because I love her writing. I do really like Raven Kennedy's writing. I do like that.
She does have an easy writing style. It's not forced.
Exactly.
The Queen's POV was very interesting.
Yeah. I'm really excited to like learn more about her. We did get a little spicy scene It wasn't with Aaron, but I was like, okay.
I don't know, maybe this is I've read too much fantasy brain coming out, but it's almost kind of what From Blood and Ash did in the beginning, where it was a romance at its core. And yeah, it had some fantasy elements, but it was a romance at its core, and it did that really, really well. But then when these significant fantasy elements and all this massive world building started to come into play, it almost didn't work because that wasn't what the core story was. And so I'm interested to see in book 3 which, if it sides one way or the other, or if it's all very seamless. I feel like we don't have enough yet to know for sure, but I'll be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I definitely agree with that. Love the banter. I'm glad.
Love
Hated
the
that you didn't find out about what happened to Digby. Yeah, I feel like that kind of just got brushed to the side. Like, and we didn't really talk. Like, obviously, she brought it up a few times of like how it was really hard for her and how she misses Sale and all of that. But yeah, we didn't really go into any details aside from that. She's in a different mindset. I was sick of seeing protagonists like the Poppies and the Farahs, these so-called badass people. I love Oren and her growth as I relate to her so much. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh my God, the chat keeps jumping. All she knew
for more romance, though.
Yeah,
a little spice.
Yeah, I feel like I just love seeing the politics and the like how all of those are kind of coming into play, and so I don't really mind that there isn't a lot of romance, but I want like still a little more than what we're getting. You know, like I don't need like a ton.
A little more tension.
Yeah.
I think now that she has kind of broken herself out of that negative mindset, that closed off mindset, that maybe we will start to get a little bit more tension. It doesn't have to be spice, it doesn't have to be romance, but I need the pining. Just a little bit of pining.
No, I agree with that. I agree. All she knew for 10 years was what Midas gave her. Yeah. The only thing that really bugged me was her blind love for Midas and her being stubborn and not realizing until the end that it was blind love, but it also showed some character development being formed. But I feel like that's kind of representative of Stockholm Syndrome and kind of like the point that Raven Kennedy was trying to make about this character, you know, and like, yeah, it was annoying because like we know that it's not good and that Midas sucks and like, you know, we don't want that for her, but I feel like it really showed kind of her mindset and like where she was at, and I think it did show a lot of character development once that switched over. So I don't know, it didn't really bug me. Like it was annoying, but not in a way that would like bug me. If that makes sense.
I mean, I can see that, and it didn't bug me because agreed that it shows character development. But I almost wish, instead of spending so much time just wandering around this campsite and not really moving the plot forward, we had maybe gotten some more flashbacks to show why she is so indebted to Midas. I mean, we get a little bit of that, but you don't get a ton of their backstory, so that you kind of flesh that out just a little bit more, because you see Arin's side and where she is now, but I don't feel like we quite got enough of how she got there sometimes.
I agree 100%. I grew up being more submissive, not speaking my mind. Only my mid to late 20s did I start standing up for myself, and love seeing a heroine like that. That is true. I do really like that. Arin's not like weak, but she's definitely not, like you said, like the Farahs and the Poppies of the world, you know? And I really liked seeing that. I feel like it's very different in a main female character. OMG, the cage scene with Midas, I was on the edge of my seat. Yeah, I really liked that part. Like where she's finally kind of breaking out of her mindset and realizing that this is not freedom at all. I was like, I really didn't know what was going to happen. Like he could have forced her in there. He could have just like killed her. She she could have killed, like, you know, there was so many possibilities. I was like, what the hell is going to happen when they're fighting? Because we've never seen it before.
True.
So the queen held this book for me, TBH.
I really like
thing.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
It's going to, I think, give you a lot more of the world building in her point of view. And I just want to know, like, what is up her sleeve and what is with that thing the dude gave her? Like, what does all of that mean? How is it going to play out? I'm very, very curious.
Me too. I really hope we continue getting the queen's POV and we get more of her, because we only had like a handful of chapters in this one with her POV, so I want more.
I wouldn't mind a little bit, maybe from Rot's perspective. I don't know. I'd have to almost see it to know if I'd really like it or not. But I could see that working.
Yeah. Because where is the romance? Yeah.
I agree with that. I was using that as an example, not a fast comparison.
I don't believe someone's dead until I see it. Maybe I'll come back. Fair. Glint is book 2.
This is Ash, by the way.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about you and your descent into the Savage Lands.
Was it ever established that she was intimate with Midas? He barely touches her. I think it was in the first one. They talked about it briefly.
Yeah. And that was part of her almost reasoning for snapping out of it, is because he talked about how much he loved her, yet he didn't really want to do anything with her like he did before when he wasn't king.
Yeah. And like he also, it wasn't even about being like intimate in that way. She was like, I just wanted him to like hold me. Just let me know that everything was okay. And he wasn't even doing that. Yeah, I understand that. It was definitely the message that Kennedy wanted to show. I shouldn't say it bugged me, but it was frustrating. Yeah,
I get that.
It was definitely frustrating. We get a lot more backstory / flashback of Midas and Arin in Gleam, and totally justified as to why she loves him like that. It was decades of manipulation. Yeah, that's what I kind of assume. Like, I kind of know what that backstory would be just based on how they're acting, but I would still like to see it.
Yeah.
Give it some foundation. Yeah.
Because you can kind of understand how the experience would theoretically work, but everybody's is different. So it would be cool to see exactly how that played out.
Yeah.
Plus, you're going to need, now that you've had the reveal of her being Fae, you're going to need that backstory and that context of how did she end up gold and with ribbons, because she wasn't always like that.
Yeah. I feel like we're just very, very slowly getting snippets of her past. Like now we know where she's from, kind of where she's been, because she's lived in different places, like very small puzzle pieces. And hopefully by the 5th and final book, we'll know more about her. But also, this is just funny.
Dead.
I'm not reading these books for the romance. That's kind of what I've come to accept. Like, even if there is romance, like, at this point, I'm like, I don't know when it's going to be. Like, so I'm invested in the story and the politics and seeing Arin kind of become a different person and her character development.
If she's going to lean that way, though, I want more. So I almost get this point where sometimes in either FanRo or even sometimes just indie books in general, it leans almost two in the middle. So like Bridge Kingdom, for example, I either wanted her to lean more into the romance or more into the politics. So I'm hoping Raven Kennedy leans hard into the politics and gives me a lot of that intricacy, because right now I feel like we're just kind of skimming the surface of everything and not really going deep enough into any one thing for me to get really, really invested.
That's fair. Started book 3 about 2 minutes ago. Nice. Hello. Yeah, you definitely see it. You see Midas before he became, is it Tyndall?
Tyndall? That sounds right.
Yeah. You'll know all her and Midas's past and backstory in the next book, save one major incident from her past in Glow. Cool. Okay, awesome. That's good to know.
Makes me more excited.
Says the romance is in Gleam.
I can see where it would be started to set up how we would get there.
Because like the first one, we had nothing. And then the second one, we have like just like one kiss and just like a little bit. We start to at least know who the love interest is and that. And then so I can definitely see how Gleam would be where we actually get it.
I wanted to lean into the romance. Just go for it.
Full lean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Full lean. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then one thing that I wanted to get your thoughts on and everyone in the chat's thoughts on, what did we think about the reveal with Rot and Rip being the same?
I saw it coming, but I don't feel like everybody did.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
So.
It seemed, I don't know, about halfway through, I was like, And then when he started talking about how King Rot was coming and asking her, are you sure I can fix it? If you're not sure, you have to tell me and I can fix it. I was like, oh man, that's because he's got control over the whole situation.
That's where I was like a little suspicious, but not like I didn't have any theories as to what it could mean. I was just like, this is kind of sus. Like, what the heck is this? Like, what do you mean you can fix it? Like, you're gonna get in trouble if you don't turn her in. Like, and then it like made sense after the fact, but I didn't like actually guess it. You guys are
smart. With the way that they were the side character, I can't remember all of their names now, but with the way that they were interacting with him too, with complete deference. But you can tell that not everybody in the camp knows that they're one and the same person. It's just his group. But there was something there that was like, there's more to this than just being the general of an army.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I've seen it done so many times that I was like, what twist when Mela asked me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. I can definitely like now looking back be like, oh, okay, it makes sense completely. Like I totally see how it was set up, but I think I was just like, I just had blinders on. I was like, nope. And I also just suck at predicting things, so I'm not really surprised.
Well, and sometimes you're just in it and you're not really thinking about how it's going to play out. You're just reading for the enjoyment of the moment.
Yeah. Like when I thought it was a little sus, I didn't really think anything extra of it. I was like, oh, that's weird. Okay. Moving on. I didn't see it coming and was confused for a bit, but it's grown on me. In Glow, you get all of his childhood and backstory, so it finally clicked, but Glint and Gleam, I didn't fully get it.
I almost feel like Glint and Gleam could have been merged together and made into one book because there was so much that I think she made them two books to try to give you this drawn out character development, but almost feel like we could have probably done that a little differently. Because there's a lot of where you're going to get that in Gleam. You're going to get that in Gleam, but we spent two books not doing a whole lot until the end. So why are we waiting until Gleam to get everything all in one book?
Or even just like made Glint a little shorter.
Something.
I think it was like 470 pages on Kindle. I feel like for the substance that we got, it just doesn't add up.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So if she wanted to make it different books, then at least make them shorter. I didn't see it coming, but I knew she was Fae. Yeah. I feel like that one was kind of given at the end of the first book too. But
normal people don't have ribbons coming out of their backs, so
yeah, like we kind of knew,
but I personally don't. But to each their own.
I think it helps. I wasn't enjoying the story as much, so I was seeing those things versus being sucked into the book. Yeah, that's definitely fair. She mentioned a few times his eyes changed color. I feel like I didn't catch this. I definitely did not catch this. I was also like stressed reading this book to finish it. I literally finished it today, like a few hours ago.
Nice.
So
fresh. It's nice and fresh. It's fine.
But I feel like I'm already forgetting things. It's probably not good for the book, but it's fine. One book. These should have been a 3-book or 4-book series, not 5. Yeah, I feel like if it was a quartet, I feel like everything would have been a lot better paced.
Yeah.
So.
But pacing is one of those things that may or may not bug some people, but I am very, I won't say sensitive to it, but I feel like I notice it more heavily than other things that bug other people.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I feel like I won't even realize it's a pacing issue until I finish the book. Because I can just distinctly tell, like, when I was reading it so slowly and when I was just trudging along versus, like, when everything just happened and I, like, kept turning the pages.
Yeah.
You know, like, after the fact, I, like, realized. Like, the first, like, 40% took me, like, 2 weeks to read. And then the last 60% I read between yesterday and today.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, okay, it
We
is
needed
definitely
to shift some things around a little.
yeah. I totally agree about making Glint shorter, but I still would have wanted a Glint and Gleam. Yeah, I think, yeah, this is kind of how I feel.
I more think we should have combined Guild and Glint, not Glint and Gleam.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a lot of the reveals that you keep saying are in Gleam almost feel like they should be middle book reveals. And I know that that technically is the middle book, but I don't know. I just feel like there's some stuff
It
that
needs to
we should
happen
have already
soon.
been seeing.
Yeah, like it feels like getting all of this information in book 3, like we've spent so much time already, like, and we still are in the dark. Like we still don't know what's happening for a lot of things. So
Like a lot of that slow burn, angsty pining, I feel like should have probably started in book 1 and escalated in book 2 to the point where you start to really see it. Whereas it sounds like you don't really see any of that until Gleam.
Mm-hmm. Midas was really in Glint. Yeah, how do you feel about that? About not having really his. I mean, we got like a chapter of his POV, but other than that, we just spent time at the campsite.
I feel like if we had gotten a little bit more from his POV in the like castle territory that he had taken over, that would have given us more politics and been more interesting than just wandering around this one setting. And maybe that's part of the problem, not even just the pacing, but that it's an isolated setting, but nothing's moving the plot forward in this one little bitty setting.
Yeah, I feel
I like isolated settings, but more so in a thriller where we can't move from this setting what's going to happen than just being stationary in one spot.
Yeah, I feel like she was kind of hopping around in the same campsite. And we're like, okay, now we're learning this. Okay, now we're learning this. And I was like, but with the overarching plot, I agree, it wasn't really moving forward.
So I think it would have been cool to see more of Midas, and that would have helped with the overarching plot. But I don't think it bothered me. Like I didn't really notice it until you just asked.
Yeah. I got sucked into the book, but I'm also trash for things. Each book gets larger and larger. Afraid for Gold. Is that the 5th book?
I bet it is. Have you noticed that they each get progressively lighter too? So I feel like that's going to be a theme.
Yeah. Gold is going to be only 450-ish pages. Okay.
Yeah. So shorter.
Yeah. See, I feel like it should have just been a quartet then. And she could have just taken the 5 and condensed it to 4.
Squish. Yeah.
Guild and Glint combined would have been a great idea. Yep.
Especially since Guild was so short too.
Yeah. And like especially compared to the rest of the series. Like when you were showing us the size of each book, like that was, I was like, what the heck?
Like the pirate thing almost could have been the like middle of the book rev up to the climax.
Yeah. Okay. The beginning was definitely slow and same. It took me a week to read the first half, but then read the last half in about a day and a half. Yeah. It should be one book. It didn't really bother me to not have because I wanted more romance.
This cracks me up. Cassidy of all people being like, give me the sex scenes. Go away, politics.
Don't give me the politics. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I kind of
agree though. I want more of the pining and the romance, and the politics are really cool, but they're taking a back seat anyway, so give me the smutty scenes.
Yeah. And also like you pick up a FanRo series because you want the romance. You know, if I wanted a lot of politics, I would just pick up a high fantasy or something.
Yeah.
So I honestly didn't mind the pacing much for these particular books. I wouldn't recommend reading it if you're not interested in this whole concept. The pacing would be a little hard to get through. Yeah. Also this. Yes.
Yes.
I thought that was going to happen. I was like, this is the perfect setting. They're sharing a tent. Like, come on. And we didn't get anything. We got one little peck.
I forgot about that. It shows you what kind of impact it had on me, because I forgot
Yeah.
about that. I mean,
Just
like, come on. It could have been, it's cold. They're in the middle of the snow. You got to warm her up somehow, dude.
one bed trope.
Right?
The one bed. Come
Perfect
on.
moment.
Like, there was so many opportunities for there to be a tent romance. And we didn't get it. Like, and I don't even want like a full out sex scene. I'm just talking about like just a little something,
Yeah.
But yeah, yes, tent romance. Corinne for romance.
Something, maybe her clothes got really wet, and so to save her from freezing to death.
Yeah. So many
We're
missed
just gonna make our own middle of the book.
Rewriting the Plated Prisoner series. Wanted to know how devastated he was and going crazy to get her back. That would have been satisfying. But I feel like when she finally got back and saw that he just like replaced her or like had a placeholder, I feel like his POVs would just be like one chapter of him freaking out and then the next being like, all right, I'll just pick someone and paint her gold, call it a day, and then kind of like try to figure out how to get her back. I feel like it wouldn't.
I don't know though, because he didn't necessarily want her because of her, though. He needed her to keep his empire afloat, because otherwise all of his riches went down the toilet.
Yeah.
So that I think was where the panic was, is because his fortune was tied to her.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which I almost wish it had been more of he was obsessed with her as a person. I think that would have been a more interesting take than greed, personally.
Yeah. It's because with FanRo, the politics are complex enough for my fantasy taste. I'm here for the romance.
I agree with this.
Yeah.
This is making me want to read a good FanRo. like a smutty FanRo. Not that this, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I didn't miss Midas because I wanted Arin to have some time apart from him. The one POV from Midas was enough to satiate me. Yeah, that's fair.
I can see that.
She was hated for her being in Rod's tent anyway.
True.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of it somehow. Like, come on.
No, I really thought we were going to get that. I was so disappointed that we didn't. But
I was kind of intrigued by the blackmail, though. I didn't really expect her to go full on blackmail. I figured it would just be girl on girl, like, I hate you because of this. Okay, flip hair, bye. So the blackmail thing I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah. Agreed. I read up to book 4. Book 3 isn't enough romance for this month. Yeah, I feel like we're just not going to get a ton of smut in this series. Like, I've just kind of given up.
Just give me pining. Give me mutual pining.
I feel like that.
And pining.
I think that'll be Gleam.
Okay.
I think we'll get some satisfaction in Gleam.
That's better.
Yeah.
That's better.
But
I sound like Becca right now. Give me the mutual pining.
But yeah. Okay. I don't have anything else specifically that I wanted to talk about. Is there anything, Mal, that comes to mind that you wanted to chat about?
I'm trying to remember back to exactly what this was, but do you remember the guy in the cart that, I don't know if he was telling her future or whatever with the queen? Was there a coin or something, or a box?
That sounds very familiar.
It was in one of the queen's POVs. I'm very curious as to what that showed her and what that was. I don't think we saw that. What do you think it was what I was going to ask.
I don't even remember. That is so sad. I just read this. Oh my gosh.
Am I making that up? Is that a different book? Please tell me that's not a different book.
Let us know.
Validate me in the comments real quick.
Someone who has a better memory. Oh, there we go.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I was like, that sounds familiar, but if it's a different book, I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. Like, okay.
I was like, please don't let me be a co-host, and that I just made up. Okay, so maybe it may have been a map. I knew it was something.
A map. Okay.
But I'm curious as to like what she saw. I'm assuming it's going to be the 7th kingdom, 6th kingdom, however many there are.
I think 7th.
The Fae world and the bridge. But I'm curious as to what that is.
Yeah.
Map to the
like him writing up between the armies. Oh my gosh.
Guess you sound thirsty.
Yeah, there is pining and gleam. And for me, the smite and glow was pretty explicit. The dirty talk made me blush. Oh. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Cool. I feel like that's a very
The seventh,
positive note to wrap up on.
7th realm.
So,
Interesting.
are you like your 4-star?
Maybe like a 3.5.
Oh no! I don't want to lower your rating. I was hoping you'd be like, no, I'm dying on this 4-star hill.
No, honestly, like what was it, like this morning on Christina's sprints, I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna rate it.
Been there.
And I feel like just the ending impact, I was like, all right, seems like a 4 stars to me. But I I haven't even had time. Like I finished it 3 hours ago.
You didn't have time.
It might not even be a 3.5. I have no idea. But for now, it'll stay as a 4, but I think I might go to 3.5.
I just put you on the spot. Sorry.
No, it's fair. I literally I assume that this live show would help solidify what I wanted to rate.
Live shows are great for that when you're kind of like, I don't know, I feel this way and this way, and I'm not sure where that comes out in like a star rating.
Yeah.
Live shows are really good for that.
I wonder what's gonna happen to the one saddle who ended up pregnant. Yeah. What, like Mist or something, I think was her name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was wondering what happened to that, and then I kind of just figured that I probably just forgot. But I'm glad that.
Yeah, I don't think it was talked about at all.
Yeah.
I'm assuming again that's gonna be something that comes up in the 3rd book, but
because that's Midas's son. So it definitely is important to the plot of the story. Right, joining the next one. In her video, Amanda loved it. And yes, hopefully they will be joining in the next one. But I don't know about Rye because she DNF'd Glint. So
I think she's gonna like wait and see what we all think, and then if we're like, yeah, it's better for these reasons, she may pick it back up and continue. But
Amanda should definitely be in the next one.
Rye was having the slump.
Yeah.
We all have the slump every once in a while.
Oh yeah, I'm barely getting out of mine. So
all right. First.
I think that's all for Glint. I hope everyone had a good time. I'm glad we got to talk about all this. I'm glad I have a better understanding of what I want to rate it. Okay, she just come back.
Cool.
My next one.
I'm excited to see because I feel like with everyone has said that Gleam's kind of a step up. So I'm very interested to see what that means.
Yeah, I think we'll both enjoy Gleam. I have hopes. I have high hopes.
I love it. Hey, July is my month. So I keep saying. I'm gonna make it my month.
But yeah, that's it for Glint. We will be having reading sprints for Gleam at some point this month. Who knows?
A lot going on this month.
Yeah, but we'll let you know. Join the Discord if you haven't already. That's what we're mostly announcing. Girl, I don't even know when the sprints are. Sometime in August.
I love how Cassidy's the one asking this, and she's like, all right, 5-minute sprint warning.
But it will definitely be before August 10th, because that's when I'm moving. And after that, I'm just taking a break from YouTube for a couple weeks.
I like it.
So yeah. We will let you know. Hey, there's a lot going on this month. I don't know.
There is a lot going on this month.
Yeah.
Yes. We may all be reading Gleam on some Questathon sprints to squeeze it all in.
Oh, I will definitely be doing that. All right. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their night. And if you're not already watching Cassidy sprints, go watch sprints on her channel for Questathon. Having a good time.
That is.
Hope everyone has a good night.